Hi guys, welcome to another one of Arbiter's Garrysmod tutorials. I just want to start off by saying sorry for not doing this any sooner. I've been having a lot of issues with my PC. Again, the motherboard and the PSU both broke. I accidentally broke my headset whilst trying to fix those two, and I've been piled on with uni work since September really, so any tutorial I can do is in my own time, and it's very difficult to get out, so just saying that before I begin. But other than that, I've got one a day to do, so let's get started. Okay, so essentially what I got asked to do was to make a drone launcher. This is pretty much for my own benefit because it's one thing, brand new challenge, and I need some practice in getting back into the swing of things. So, first of all, you will never be able to get one drone launcher to fire at multiple targets. I'll say never. It seems a lot of things I say you can never do turn out to be wrong, so you probably can be able to do this, but it'll be very complicated, and for beginners this is probably an easier way of doing it. So start off by spawning your drone launchers. I'm using a model that I'm using quite a small thin model. It's just a gas canister, and that's just so I don't have to have all that space taken up. So I'm going to spawn myself 6. So I'm going to have 6 targets. Now, you're probably going to have to ignore this step, but because I have space build, I'm going to have to link all these drone launchers to a power supply, so I can fire them. Right, so now they should all be on. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had a bit of an issue there. Right, so maximum number of targets to track, raise this to 6. This is basically the amount of targets that you want the target finder to track. Don't target players or the owner, but set to target NPCs in this case. If you want to target players, just say don't target owner, whatever. So, I've also set a paint target so that you can see whoever. Now, if we look at this, if we use, say, a beacon sensor, it's going to output GPS coordinates, and wire this up to the target, you can see that there are multiple outputs, like 6, it goes up to 6, and those are our 6 targets that we will eventually have. Okay, so once you spawn your target finder, you're going to need a way to translate the different targets into these drone launchers. Now, usually we would use the beacon sensor tool, but that doesn't really work in this situation. I don't know why, it gives out some crazy errors. So we're going to use something new, and it's called it's in gate entity, and it's called position. Basically, it gets fed an entity value which the target finder can output, and it provides a whole massive amount of information about it, depending on what gate you spawn. So we're going to need 6 of these. So basically they correspond relatively to where they go. And then we're going to need another type of gate, and it's called a vector. Now, a vector is basically something that transfers 3 values at once. They're usually supposed to be for X, Y, and Z, or pitch, yaw, and roll. But these gate positions give out the positions of their targets in vector format. So we're just going to need something to break that down into a normal number system so that the drone launcher can read it in. Again, just to mention something, people are saying I go a bit fast when I talk. I'm really sorry about that. I don't mean to. It's just how I was raised. So, spawning 6 of these. Just to repeat myself again, they take in vector values and they decompose them into 3 separate X, Y, and Z sections. So, all we need to do is wire this up. So, with this one, I'm going to wire this up to output 1 entity, because it's an entity gate, it reads an entity value. I'm going to do this for 2. Damn it. 3. 4. 5. And 6. Okay, now all we need to do is wire up these decompose gates to their respective position gates. So that's 1, that's 6. And now for another fun bit, we need to wire up each drone launcher X, Y and Z coordinate to this gate. So output X, Y is output Y, and Z is output Z. Now I'm not sure how much time I've got left, so I'm going to skip the rest of this stage. We'll basically do this for every one of these drone launchers. Okay, now that that's done, we need to tackle 2 more things. We need, well, 3 if you want to be picky. Okay, we need a firing mechanism. I'm going to do this last because it's a bit more complex than I would normally make it. Lock. This is a simple button. It's a toggle button, and it essentially assigns whether or not you are locked on, whether or not the drone should lock on to the target or not. So I'm going to use an activate button for this. Make sure it's on toggle outputs 1 and 0, and that's the kill switch. So we're going to wire this up. Lock, and just fire it up. Okay, now essentially what my problem with the launch button is that I don't want to fire the drones when they don't have a target, if you understand me. Because like why would I want to fire drones when there's no target? That'd be pointless, and it would be a waste of. It would lag the server up a bit. Not that, you know, killing people on servers isn't like anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an arithmetic here, and it's going to be a multiply gate. I'm going to have 6 of these, 1 on each side, and for the love of God, right? What it's going to do? There's going to be a. Is that just snapped off there? No, that's fine. I'm going to have my launch button. Button, right. What button should I use for launch? There's no fire button. Well, there is a fire button. There it is. Right. Okay. So this is going to be to fire the drones. And essentially, I'm going to wire this button to every multiply gate. Point in this is that I'm then going to wire these multiply gates to the target finder, so that when the fire button is pressed, if there's no target, it'll be multiplied by 0 and the fire function won't go through. So now I need to wire up the B of each gate up to the first output of the target finder. Oh, that wasn't 2, damn. That wasn't A either. Right, B, it's output 6. That's 5. That's not A, damn it. Output 5. B. That's output 4. That's 3. And that is 2. Okay, so now we have a firing mechanism. We just need to wire up launch to each multiply gate. And hopefully, when I press fire now, none of them should fire because there is no target. Brilliant. If I make 1 target, only 1 of them should fire, and it should be this drone in front of me. There we go. Perfect. So, one more thing to do, and that's the lock on. So, when you press lock on, they should lock on. I mean, if there was a drone in the sky, so let's try this. Missed a bit. You're just going to have to ignore that. So if we put him further back, from what I remember, that this drone launcher doesn't really handle it only handles like mid-range targets and long-range targets. But I'm just going to show you in full detail. I'll get rid of him first because he's hard to kill. So I'm going to have 6 combines just dotted around the map. That's 4 so far. There's 1 over there, and let's have 1 over there. So that's 6 targets. Now, hopefully, they should all be okay. I'm going to undo the lock button, and I want to have the lock on set to activate after a few seconds, because otherwise it doesn't really work that well. So, we're going to fire, and lock. And then, yeah, you got, what, 2 out of 6? Like I say, it's not an exact science. For some reason, some of them get a live afterwards. afterwards. But this is a drone launcher that fires at multiple targets. It's not exactly compact, but if you're building a spaceship, you know, I'm sure you could fit this in better. That's it. This has been Arbiter. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you next time.